Hey, what's his beast family? How you doing tonight? I got an exclusive interview with Rob Ace Holmes. Rob, how you doing?
Doing good, brother. How you doing?
I'm good, good, man. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna talk a little while. I'm gonna get you to tell, the people where you are, what you've been doing, how you got started. So, first of all, tell us where you're from.
Now I'm from Hampton, Virginia. I know my dad was Army and whatnot, so I guess after he got out, we pretty much settled in this area. But definitely proud Hampton, Virginia, 757 native for sure.
Okay, okay, that's not far from me. I'm on the Eastern Shore of Maryland.
Hmm.
Yeah, we're pretty close. We're pretty close. So, how did you actually you do poetry? So how did you actually get
Yeah.
started? What inspired you to do poetry?
Yeah, I think initially I was a big fan of music and especially hip hop and whatnot. And
Okay.
I think I remember being like 14 and my dad was like, I've been begging him to go to the record store. Finally, was able to go to the record store, and I got like a new record every week. And I think the first record I got was Ice Cube, "America's Most Wanted," and then I
Okay.
read to like Tupac and other artists. And I think after so much time had passed, I was just like, man, you know what? I got something to say. And I need to take a stab at it. And I can definitely admit that when I first started, I don't think I was that good, but it was something just internally that drove me to just keep writing. And one of the standout moments I had was as a sophomore at Kickerton, my high school. My teacher, Mr. Tolliver, shout out Mr. Tolliver, he made us do a project. We had to write like 10 types of poems and present one to the class. And I kind of did my whole project in one weekend. It was kind of simple to me, and it just
Okay.
came easy. And come to find out, about 2 or 3 weeks later, everybody was getting their papers back and things like that. They got their grades, and I didn't get mine back, and I was freaking out initially. I'm like, oh man, I bombed it. I did terrible. But come to
Right.
find out, I got 100, and my teacher kept mine as a model. So I knew from that
Okay.
moment, and like that was like probably '07, '08 sometime, and I knew from that moment on I had a purpose with writing, and I just kept at it from there.
Okay. Well, it sounds like it just was a burning desire, really your
Right,
gift, and the great thing is that when you find your gift, it's the thing that you do best and it takes very little effort from you. You
right,
know, it's like it's
mhm,
already there, it's already in you.
right,
Um, and most people, just have to find it first, and then second is pursue it. You're never going to
mhm,
be, you're not going to start out being the best. You're not going to have
right,
everything that you need when you start, but you just have to get started. You
right.
just have to get started. So from high school, did you do any shows? Did you do any performances in high school, or did that come later?
Yeah, that came a lot later. Um, I definitely remember like in my college years. Shout out to my boys. We called the crew and everything. Like we were freestyling a lot and whatnot. And I like freestyling, but I always knew I'm like, man, I think for me my pen game is stronger than something that you can create on the spot. And I like having time to like really cultivate a piece.
Right.
And I think the moment I remember was I think I was about a year into my first real job after college. And I just kind of Googled open mics, Hampton Road 757, and I found a few spots and I started going out. The first spot I went to was called the Venue on 35th Street in Norfolk.
Okay.
I know they still do a weekly open mic on Mondays, but I think back in my era, like 2016 time frame, it was really a place to really cut your teeth and like learn your craft and learn like kind of what works, what doesn't work.
Right.
And then I know they also had Cypher Tuesdays on Tuesday. Initially it was in Norfolk, but it ended up moving to Newport News. But I just remember like that was the one show where you had to really kind of show off and show people like the best kind of side of you as an artist. So like I think those two places and a few other places in between, but like those two places always stand out in terms of like kind of being able to track my growth as an
Right.
artist and whatnot. So
Right. Right.
yeah.
Um, do you have like a spot that you are on a regular basis, or you just kind of go from different spots?
Yeah, I definitely do now. The spot that I like kind of frequent now is called Audible Asylum.
Okay.
Shout out to my boy Creek. He's the host of that. I think they've been doing it now. I think probably 3 going on 4 years, and
Okay.
I think it's a really really dope platform because of kind of the ambiance. I know sometimes they have different color lights and things like that. And
Right, right.
they have a DJ, shout out Crazy Swagger. And it's just a really cool ambiance, and it's like a good mixture between rappers, poets and singers and things like that. Maybe even some comedians might pop up every once in a while. So they have a
Okay.
good it's a good culture, and I definitely appreciate what they have been able to offer and whatnot.
Okay, okay. So you have I saw a video where you worked with a artist, a rapper. You were on a song with him. It's called
Um,
what's the name of the song? Who's the rapper that you work with?
I'm trying. I've done a few collabs here and there.
Okay,
I'm trying to think of who. I guess I'm trying to think
Riot.
of.
It's Riot.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, so Ryan, that was my boy Tacumbo. So
Okay,
basically with him, I met him at another open mic called The Cure over in Newport News, and
okay,
we kind of just hit it off, and it was actually kind of crazy because I remember I met him, and we started building a rapport and everything, but I did my verse for that in like I think this some point in 2023.
okay,
And I
okay.
know he's military, so I know he was like, "I got to go out the country. I'll hit you up when I get back." So
Right,
nothing. I didn't hear nothing all the 2024, and then the top of this year, he
right.
put the track out on social media as like a teaser for his album,
Uh-huh.
and it kind of just blew up, man. And we did the video, and it turned out really dope, man. Shout out to my boy Tacumbo. Shout out to his homie Jordan, who actually did the direction on that video. They good people, man, for real.
Okay, good deal. Good
Yeah.
deal. Yeah. So are you what kind of shows you have coming up?
I would say the one coming soon is at June 25th from 7 to 9. Me and my friend Miss Alicia, we're doing it's like a summer showcase at this place called Art Central. It's in the
Okay.
Phoenix area, Hampton. It's an art gallery.
Okay.
And this will be the first one in a series of probably 3 or 4 open mics.
Right.
So definitely getting the word out there for that. And then the 6/29, so next Sunday is a Fan Fest. That's at Bethel Park in Hampton from like 12 to 6. So it's basically like what we do at Audible Asylum, but it's a little different kind of format in terms of like being more family friendly and things like that.
Right.
But I think it'll be good. I went to it last year and it was really nice. So yeah, I'm definitely glad that able to return to that. And then on July 20th, I actually have a feature set at Audible Asylum. I know this is Sunday because they do every first and third Sundays, but that's coming up late next month, and I'm definitely excited to have a feature set to kind of explain probably a little bit more about my background and how some of the pieces came to light and things like that.
Right. 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 Okay, so you do this on a regular basis. The
Pretty
same.
much, yeah. I think now because I've been doing this since 2016, at least performance wise. So
Right.
I think now I'm definitely learning to kind of cherish, maybe to take a break, maybe not go out every single weekend or whatnot, so I can work on my other pieces and get new things memorized. So it's a
Hmm.
give and take process.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, sometimes you have to take some time to, as they say, sharpen your axe before you start back
Yeah,
chopping again. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. That's great. That's great. So you have because we've touched base, quite a few times, and I have your stuff on my internet radio station. It's Weston's Beats Radio. And do you have any other platforms where you have your music or you have any of your work?
Not at the time being, I'm considering maybe going on streaming, but I know with streaming it's like I guess it's not as lucrative as it probably could be,
Hmm.
because
Right,
I know
right.
I have seen some of the I'm sure you probably seen it too, where like certain artists would do like the direct to consumer method,
Uh-huh.
things like that. So I got to probably do some more research. But now I guess outside of SoundCloud, I'm mainly known for like my books. I got 6 books out there on Amazon,
Okay.
um, and everything. Yeah, it all makes sense. Levy to Pieces and several other kind of Levy to Pieces volumes. But yeah.
Okay. So if somebody wanted to, get your work, say for instance, Amazon,
Mhm.
what name would they look up once they get on Amazon? What name would they look up to find your work?
I would say Probably, yeah, Rob, Ace Holmes,
Okay.
and then just Love You to Pieces. I think that's probably the easiest because that's my favorite title. It's my
Uh,
favorite body of work that I put out.
all right. Love you to
Um,
pieces.
yeah, Love You to Pieces. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, how do you see your future? I mean, what are you looking at? You looking to do more stuff, bigger stages, going out of the 757 area, doing different stuff? Where do you actually see yourself going?
Yeah, I would definitely say definitely bigger stages. I think I need to kind of get out of this area. I mean, it's been really good to me, but I think I want to take spoken word as far as I can. Um,
Okay.
and I think for me, it's not only about spoken word because I've been fortunate enough to like cultivate really dope friendships with other artists, whether they be, spoken word, rappers, photographers, painters, things like that. And I think in this area there's definitely like a surplus of talent. You know what I'm saying? So that's a really beautiful thing. But yeah, I would say taking it as far as I can. And I think long term, I think I want to get in either the I probably could do both at some point, but I would want to get into like probably screenwriting and whatnot,
Okay.
and then maybe
Okay.
songwriting as well. Because I'm definitely more than just a poet. Like I know you play my stuff on the radio, and those were
Right.
all that was all produced by my buddy in Sweden. We weren't
Oh,
even
okay.
so
Right. Right.
yeah. So just trying to branch out, and keep having a good impact. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Positive impact. I think it's inspiring, hopefully inspiring to like the younger generation that you don't have to just shoot to be a rapper. You can be something else. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. And a lot of times I find with myself, started out as a DJ. I did that for 14 years. I stopped when my son was getting ready to be born, stopped for 19, go back into DJing, but I only came in because I had my radio station and I wanted to do like a live set, on my radio station.
Mm.
And then one person asked me to do an event. Then, a couple of organizations got me to do an event. And now, before you know it, I'm back, back DJing pretty much on a regular basis,
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and now, stepping into doing interviews, so one thing leads to another. You can't just kind of stay in one place as long as you're going and you're moving and you're doing stuff. One thing is it's just going to open different doors for you, and the thing is just to be open to doing different stuff. Like you were
right.
talking about writing songs, and I mean, because poems like lead right into songs. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
so that would be really a simple transition for
Hmm.
you. Um, Going out of the area, doing different things in different places.
Hmm.
Um, the contacts that you make is really important because you never know where that can lead you you
Yeah,
know,
definitely.
because people know people,
Yeah,
and they mention your name, and then before you know it, you've got another event that you're going to in a whole different place, and
yeah.
it becomes a snowball effect. One thing just
Right,
kind of leads to another.
right.
So I love your work. Like you said, I play your work on my station. So anytime, you got new work, you just don't hesitate to send it because, you always gonna get airtime over here. I'm always about trying to support each other. You
Appreciate
have
that.
you have a craft, and me having the platform, I'll definitely always put your stuff on.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
okay, okay. So for a new person just starting out, what kind of advice would you give to them?
Yeah, I would say with a new person, I definitely would advise them to stay true to themselves and
Right,
also to probably being more, I guess, on the experimentation side. And I look at it like this: like you got to see what works for you, and what might work for you might not work for the next person. So, like,
exactly.
you might have to write 10 drafts to get to that one stellar piece that you're looking for, but at least you try with those 10 attempts. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So, yeah, I would say definitely like persistence and consistency is key, but
it
do
is.
what fills what fills your heart up. Honestly, because that's what the passion is. Everything.
Exactly, exactly. And
Mhm.
it's, from my experience, if you start to do what it is that you want to do, you're going to get better as you go.
Mhm.
Opportunities are going to come as you go. So
Right.
you're basically growing as you go through the process. It's
Yeah.
never going to be just right from the very beginning. It's the whole process. But the
Definitely.
thing that I find is that it's enjoyable to be able to do what you want to do. You
Yeah.
know, we work a job, we do everything for everybody else. So
Hmm.
we have to do what we want to do,
Right.
for ourselves, for ourselves.
Right.
Build something for yourself, and
Hmm.
you that can change your life. It can change other generations. People
Right.
seeing you can be an inspiration to other people
Right.
as far as I know him. He's on stage. He's
Right.
this is where I want to be. And
Hmm.
one, you never know who's looking. You know,
Yeah.
and and there's people that you can inspire just by getting on stage and doing what you do.
That's true.
So
That's true.
yeah, I applaud you, and I see you do a lot of work.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I see you. I'm watching you. And you do a
Right.
lot of work, man. So um, I wish you the very best. In
Appreciate.
everything
Yeah.
that you do. I'm always gonna be there to support you. That's not
Appreciate
even an
it.
issue. I'm always gonna be there to support you. So is there anything else that you would like to say that maybe we hadn't already talked about, as far as sharing with people or giving people some advice, a little encouragement, anything that you want to end this with?
Um. Yeah. I got to shoot out. I got to shout out some of my comrades. Because in addition to having my own works put out, I've also been an editor, and sitting in that chair is a little different because you're kind of looking at things and making sure things are in order for the publishing process. And
Right.
definitely got to shout out my man Nick, my boy Janetti, and definitely my cousin Quentin. So my cousin Quentin. He has a book called American Rage:
Okay.
Views of an Adult Civil Rights Child. We actually put that out in the pandemic, and then kind of fast forward that to 21. I think it was spring of 21. He has a gift of gab. He can like talk to anybody, and
Right.
he
Right.
spoke to this Black History Museum up in Richmond, and he was able to get his book in there, and I was the
Okay.
editor, did the foreword, and it was definitely a team kind of effort. But that's probably one of the things I'm the most proud of because I never thought in a million years of something I did would be in the museum. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? To see him
Right.
get his proper accolades and everything, it means a lot. So yeah.
hmm And
Mm,
that's the key. You just have to go, and doors are open. They will
yep.
open. You just be consistent.
Yep.
Don't quit. It's all a numbers game, man. Some people gonna like it, some aren't. But
Definitely.
do what you do.
Right on.
Continue to perfect what you do, and everything will be okay as long as you
Right.
don't quit. As long
Hmm.
as you don't quit.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Rob Ace Holmes. He's a poet, in the 757 area. So you can look him up on Amazon. And can you give him that name to look up again on Amazon?
Yeah. Rob Ace Holmes, love you to pieces.
Okay, Rob Ace Holmes, Love You to Pieces on Amazon. I really appreciate you taking your time out, Rob, to sit down with me for a few minutes and share your story, man. I really, really appreciate you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Okay, well,
All
we're going
right.
to talk soon. I'm going to come back and I'll interview you again,
All
but we'll
right.
definitely keep this thing moving.
Sounds good.
Okay,
All right.
all right. Have a good evening.
You too.
All right.
All right. Based on the statistics, I shouldn't even exist. 1 in 3 black men are locked behind bars. The same verses pinned powerfully in an attempt to erase or at least tarnish permanent scars. Prison industrial complex, alleged system along with numerous large corporations and continuing such sick manifestations. In the words of my brother, people die every day. And hey, that doesn't make it right. Post-civil rights era, we're all our heroes. Now I can sit back and stack more zeros. Maybe I'm a puppet too in this corporate structure yet utterly refuse to sport a monkey suit. No shucking job to keep this culture alive. Might dab on occasion off pure elation. A white lady up in Jersey asked us, how do you laugh at it all? Because I'm still here, baby, can't you see? BMW, black man working, perfecting the craft, supreme mathematics, can never line to form more ominous outcome. White flag in my back pocket, yet not ready to raise a towel up or in. Let us begin on a unified accord. See, my Honda was a 9-4. Numerous hotboxes until the cops stopped us for possession. Seeing you in college, so you know your brother's stressing. I'm sitting there questioning self-worth, even purpose. Yet at the same time, looking at myself as a hypocrite. Talking about Rob, you graduated from BWI, correction. I got love for real people. Those I acknowledge as kinfolk are rooted in truth. See, you don't know the have, barely accorded. I'm the brother that's completely out of order and in somehow perfect alignment. Realizing we are kings and queens, royalty, the true 1%. But it's frustrating, because somebody's gonna come along and label this piece radical. But legally charged? Nah, it's dishonest.